Opposition wants a review of the budget.
Redo the 2015 budget.
Motu Koita way forward, pleased with the government's response over Hanuabada incident. Rugby Union Sevens revived in Morobe province.
This is National EMTV News with Morobe Tulo.
Welcome to Sunday's news. Calls have been made by the opposition for the national government to revise the 2015 national budget. Opposition leader Don Polye said the government was experiencing a cash flow shortage, and he adds that revising the budget is a moral obligation that the O'Neill-Dion government must undertake. The opposition believes revisiting the national budget may project a healthier economic outlook for the country.
The opposition has observed that the country was experiencing a cash flow issue, a situation they claim that the government was not admitting. The opposition leader said the government needs to revise the 2015 national budget to achieve real economic outcomes.
Again, we call the government to sit down and redo the 2015 budget. Be truthful about it, not to leave things to the last minute and then come in on a crisis management approach to run the country's affairs on ad hoc and haphazardly. What Peter O'Neill and his government need to do is revise the 2015 budget immediately.
Mr. Polye said budgets are living documents but can be revised through normal parliamentary processes under the Constitution. He said other economies the world over were revising their budgets, which he says are normal procedures in any economy.
Moral obligation is not just any other duty, it's very important because the budget projections do give the focus for business investment and fiscal outflow of money into the system.
The benefits that will be gained from a revised budget include setting a projection that can prioritize areas overlooked and set realistic economic projections for all players in the economic sector. However, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, since early this month, at the start of the Leadership Summit, has maintained that PNG is protected from some of the effects due to the early sale of LNG, but may be affected if the trend of falling oil prices continues.
And government in our country through cheaper domestic energy prices, which will lead to lower cost of doing business in our country. But we will be affected by lower oil prices if the current trend continues.
Bridget Komatap, National EMTV News.
Since the 2015 national budget on oil was predicted according to $80 to $90 per barrel of oil, the opposition has reiterated calls to redo the 2015 national budget now that the price of oil has fallen to about $50 per barrel. Opposition leader Don Polye gave some practical insight as to how to do this.
The prediction out there is that that trend coming back, the price rising back up to where PNG 2015 budget was projected at $80 to $90 per barrel, will take some time. So what the government should do is to be on the safe side, say, well, look, we project if you've got a $80, you take away your 40 or 55, the difference there, that's how much you're losing. And then you multiply it by the volume of oil or the barrel of oil we sell, and you can see the price down on that. That also affects the LNG and determine that. And if you look at also your other commodity prices like the copper and the gold, there's some price fluctuations there as well. You do that comparatively with the personal income and corporate tax income into the Wagani public accounts. There might be some moderate growth because the lowering of the oil prices sold to transportation companies and others, and there might be a bit of a surge in income to private sector. But is that enough for the government to help raise personal income and corporate tax to balance off the shortfall that we're going to experience through the downturn of the oil prices? So these are the exercises the government must do and say.
The national government's response to the petition presented by the Hanuabada villagers after the alleged killing of 2 villagers has been accepted by the Motu Koita Way Forward Association. The response endorsed 5 points of the petition presented to Prime Minister Peter O'Neill a week ago, which will be implemented through the conclusion of a memorandum of agreement.
In a media conference this morning, the Motu Koita Way Forward announced their satisfaction of the national government response to their petition presented on the 9th of February.
The national government, through the Chief Secretary, Sir Manasupe Zuriano, has responded very positively to our petition. This response sets the ball in motion for positive and amicable solutions to be found for this tragedy of 23rd January 2015.
The petition had 5 points that included the coronial inquest that will allow a member of the Motu Koita Way Forward to assist in the case of the two deceased. The national government, through a letter from the Chief Secretary, Sir Manasupe Zuriano, stated it endorses all 5 points of the petition. Women's representative and elder Mere Oala commended the response from the government. They also thanked the people of Hanuabada and city residents who supported the petition that had over 1,000 signatures.
The Prime Minister has also once again responded in a very, very timely manner again. And as I have gone through this response, I'm very, very satisfied.
Although it is a sad occasion, I think this crisis really brought the spirit of Motu Koitabu together. And they woke up and now we are working together. Again, I thank my people from Hanuabada, Eleva, Gabi, and the surrounding Motu Koita villages. Thank you, Badaher.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. More stories coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Barrick Coal Corporation subsidiary, Barrick New Guinea Limited, has completed the first joint venture government-owned tax credit scheme project totaling about 1.2 million kina. Under this tax credit scheme, 3 projects were undertaken: the redevelopment of the Payam Police Station, construction of new double classrooms and office for the Porgera Technical Vocational Education Training Centre, and an upgrade of the Payam Sewage Treatment Plant.
The new cell facility is constructed to meet current Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary humanitarian standards and features proper ventilation, structurally certified security components and walls to minimize noise from the surroundings. The Porgera TVET Centre project was undertaken by local company Pokalalusi Thang contractor, while the sewage treatment plant work was done by another local company, Kalasi Contractor. The work at the sewage treatment plant involved the installation of new pumps and blowers. The Payam Police Station redeveloped project was completed in December last year at an estimated cost of just over 941,000 kina. Work was completed under the first ever joint venture contract by local Porgera company Helilimi Limited and Mount Hagen-based United Engineering Consultants and Contractors Pacific Limited. The other 2 projects are a new double classroom with an office for the Porgera TVET Centre at a cost of over 118,000 kina and an upgrade on the Payam sewage treatment plant, which cost just over 155,000 kina.
Nupla police station. There's like Nupla. You may got all the police station staff finished. Lo here. There's la money PJB spending lo here. Supposed to be spent on, schools, health centers, all other projects in the district.
Barrick handed over the redeveloped police station to Porgera District Administrator Mori Larume on the 5th of February. Mr. Larume then handed the keys to the police station commander, Inspector Peter Yambun.
Challenge me giving go long, people long, Porgera Valley, like a Porgera, take him ownership.
Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
Meantime, Barrick New Guinea Limited has received the support of the Hela provincial leaders to declare the headwater of Strickland a conservation area. Hela Provincial Administrator William Bando, his Deputy Pius Pape and members of the local level government showed their support for the proposed conservation area.
Barrick's manager for environment, Charlie Ross, met with the leaders and explained the project to gauge their support. The leaders approved the project in December last year. The Strickland Headwaters, which is home to the Hewa people, will be the largest area declared under the Conservation Area Act in PNG, covering 170,000 hectares of pristine forest. It will be the first to use the Forest Stewards model developed by renowned American anthropologist and conservationist Dr. Bill Thomas, who has been involved with the Hewa community since 1988. Mr. Ross said the program could be paid for in the future for carbon trading credits, and presently the forest is worth US $7.50 and PNG 18.55 kina per ton of carbon dioxide or carbon credit. Mr. Ross said community support is vital and that this has been achieved over the past several years through the Forest Steward program. The next phase of the project is to begin consultation with the relevant government departments to have the proposal formally gazetted. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
Madang Province for the first time played host to cruise ship Pacific Dawn. The cruise ship carrying over 2,000 passengers was warmly welcomed in the province.
Pacific Dawn arrived safely in Madang and was given a rousing traditional welcome at the wharf. Hundreds were present to greet the 2,000-plus tourists treated the Madang way. It was an adventurous experience, boat cruise, diving, snorkeling, sightseeing with many photographs captured. Marie and John Rule from Perth, Australia were once residents of Papua New Guinea. 43 years ago were teaching at the Dunley Technical College.
I'm just really excited to be back in Papua New Guinea, and it's bringing back so many memories. So lots of things I've forgotten, and I'm really loving it. Loving to see the people, all your faces again. It's lovely.
For Brian Brown, the voyage was to visit Karkar Island, where his best friend and best man, Robin Cook, died.
So I have come on the Pacific Dawn to see where he worked and where he died.
It was an income opportunity for locals from the sale of artifacts to tourists as a token and memory for visiting Madang. Madang's businessman Sir Peter Bathak said cruise ships promote Papua New Guinea's image, and it was a good experience for Madang as a tourism destination.
We need a lot of image building, so the cruise ships, I think, is most important contribution is to be able to improve the image of Papua New Guinea, not only as a tourist destination, but to realise its tourism potential.
Pacific Dawn is 245 meters superliner, 3-story cruise ship, owned and operated by P&O Australia. Over 100 of these tourists who arrived on the Pacific Dawn this morning were long-time residents of Madang, serving as missionaries and also working with the administration, not only here in this beautiful province of Madang, but also other centers throughout the country. They're here to trace back their past. In Madang, Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, and 4 more rugby league stars have been charged with an alleged cocaine ring, including Greg Bird and David Taylor, leaving the Gold Coast Titans in damage control.
The ring is growing to involve more and more of our prominent footballers. We now know Titans outside back Khalifa Fai Law and former Titans player Joe Vickery are facing charges along with Greg Bird and Dave Taylor. Whether they are for possession or supply, it's simply not clear yet, but we do understand that they are drug-related charges. Now, of course, this has all stemmed from a long-term investigation involving police and the Crime and Corruption Commission into this alleged cocaine drug ring. We saw Queensland Reds vice captain Carmichael Hunt and Titan players Beau Falloon and of course Jamie Darling already charged with supplying cocaine allegedly to friends and colleagues. Many of the Titans had little to say though when returning from a trial match against the Cowboys last night in Cairns, although their coach Neil Henry did have this to say outside the airport this morning.
We've had a few discussions about what's going on as a playing group, and we're concerned. We're concerned for the welfare of players. We're concerned for what's the allegations, certainly at the club. And we'll deal with those as they come to light, and working with the integrity. We can't do much more about it.
Now, many of those players are holding crisis meetings with managers, club officials and lawyers as we speak. Titans CEO Graham Annesley has, of course, strenuously denied these, or said that he's at least bitterly disappointed if these allegations are true. Of course, we can only imagine those players and their lawyers will strenuously deny those charges too until proven guilty. They'll appear in court in March.
Coming up in Trukai Sports, we have updates of the National Soccer League as well as Rugby Sevens.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Anatua Morobe Rugby Union Sevens kicked off this weekend at the Scrum Oval in Lae with 16 teams taking part. The tournament will run for 6 weeks with weekly cup finals and winners with cash prizes. Coming off from a 2-year absence, this tournament has attracted interest from many rugby players, both veterans and young talent. Sylvester Gawi has this report.
Lae's Scrum Oval, known as the home of Rugby Union in the Mamase region, was packed with players and supporters as the Morobe Rugby Union Sevens kicked off yesterday. This morning saw the finals for this weekend being played, with the winner to walk away with 1,000 kina. Assistant Tournament Director Irake Lokora told EMTV Sports that this tournament has brought back more energy into Rugby Sevens in Morobe province.
Haste iso interest ball teams me blagati plenty of veterans or players so former players so PNG Pupuks, I'm Pilakos, Warrenteno. Also me skills ball of field bin matini game ball last team ball can play. One time me blagati all new ball all expatriate. Osem Oni Brooks, Ginek, well, all take part, all senior, all players, all big man, all take part, all teams, all play this last sevens last day. All young blood boys, plenty of school boys, we also have interest na plenty of youths to sabeb we all take part to all teams.
The tournament was organized with support from corporate sponsors Anitu Hardway, Sito Kui and B-Mobile Vodafone as refresher games leading up to the Morobe Rugby Union season for 2015. The interest this year has been great, with more than 16 teams showing the interest to participate. However, organizers only agreed for 16 teams to take part.
That weekend, we are looking for plenty team also me interest can play. Since last year, we have not got competition, and this year, now morning we looking for plenty team also me interest can play.
Teams taking part includes Aliquins, Unitech Reds, Defense, Pirates, Telecom City Lights, PC Ravens and Sego Tons. The tournament will continue for the next 5 weekends with weekly cup final winners given 1,000 kina. Sylvester Gawi, National MTV Sports, Lae.
To the NSL now, and Lae City Dwellers have now moved in to secure the second spot on the Telecom National Soccer League ladder following their 1-0 win over Besta FC in Lae yesterday. It was a strong game with both teams scoreless at half-time. The Lae boys came strong in the second half and found the net with about 10 minutes remaining before full-time.
This was a very strong and intense game between the two Lae-based teams. A younger Besta side put on a strong defense for the Lae City Dwellers, stopping their many goal attempts. The Dwellers, on the other hand, sent in a mixed composure of players, including many young and inexperienced players. The Lae side showed little improvements from their previous games, but managed to outplay the development team.
This Amamaslo boys performance last week, this week, good performance. Milugos all boys all start low, improve now.
Besta FC, on the other hand, didn't stick much to the game plan. A bigger Lae Dweller side distracted them easily during their attack and defense. Besta captain and the man of the match, Otto Kusunan, was happy about his team's performance. He says despite their 1-0 loss, his boys gave their best in holding off the Dwellers from a marginalized win.
The team is playing structure through, but one lili ka fault to him. mi bla bin fall down no disla so all bin come scoring mi bla lo disla the side blow mi bla it.
The dwellers, however, will have to work so hard to find the right combinations for the midfield before the end of round 1. Coach Peter Gunamba was happy with his new boys' performance and is optimistic about winning the last 2 games.
Our intention is to win the 2 remaining games in the first round. And then when we do that, second round, it is to maintain our place in the first 4 places and to not get it off with Ekari, because Ekari is drawing 2 now.
John Kitsani scored Lay's only goal about 10 minutes into full time. Sylvester Gawi, National EMTV Sports, Lay.
And that's all we have for True Kai Sports tonight. The weather details up next.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, Port Moresby, evening showers and possible inland thunderstorms. Overnight showers expected for Daru, Alotau and Poponeta, and evening and morning showers expected in Kerema. And that has been the news, sports and weather from all of us here. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.